Good evening. My name is Garrett Murphy, a graduate of the class of 2008, and on behalf of everyone at Walnut Hills School for the Arts, I'd like to welcome you to the third in our series, Spring Art Crush, centering around the theater department. I'm very pleased to be joined now by my co-host, Director of Artistic Studies, Nikki Conrads.
Thank you so much, Garrett. We are thrilled to be speaking with the graduating theater class of this year. And I am so happy to introduce Joe Cabral, our Director of Theater, Gina Fiore, and Brian Dillon, who will join us for a conversation with the students involved in the musical theater project.
Thank you, Nikki. It's great to be here.
Thanks, Nikki and Garrett. It's wonderful to be here.
Welcome. Joe, you have been the head of the theater department at Walnut Hill since 1994. Is this the first time since you've been here that you're actually staging a show outdoors?
Yes, it is. It is. It's the first outdoor performance. And it's certainly, it's been very rewarding to be able to do that.
We're a special kind of people known as show people.
And it's been forced on us, really, because we wanted to be able to do a musical, and we were taking a gamble that when we announced that we were going to be doing this in late February, early March, that we would possibly be able to sing. And we knew that most likely we weren't going to be able to do that indoors, especially as an ensemble. And we were thrilled when the school decided to support that idea, not only with theater, but also with dance and music. So that's what we're doing. We rehearsed the show. We've been rehearsing the show indoors, and we actually moved outside for the first time last night. We were under the tent. They have all the lighting equipment in, all the sound equipment is in, the soft goods are in. We had the space taped out on our stage indoors, so it was a very easy transformation. But and it's also the first time that Gina and I got to see them sing without a mask on, because we were outdoors. So whenever the soloists sang, they could take their mask off. The ensemble stayed with their masks on, but when the soloists came on, they were able to take their mask off, and they just let loose. I mean, it was really, it was emotional.
It was liberating.
Yeah, exhilarating, wasn't it, Gina? I mean,
yeah,
I saw you over there, and I saw Mike McCucci, who's our lighting designer, and it was and Brian. We were the only four there, and it was there was like chills, getting to see them unmasked and singing again.
That's fantastic. Did you both have any sense of what some challenges were with that? I imagine that working masked and indoors and in small groups must have somehow affected their training and projection and stamina. I'm just wondering if you're seeing anything like that, or if the enthusiasm is just carrying the work.
In the beginning stages, I think, and Gina, you can speak to this, because Nikki, you helped us acquire those Broadway singer masks that look like duckbills, so that
beautiful,
so that we could start rehearsing the ensemble indoors. And Gina, I know you have some comments about what that's been like in doing parts.
Well, by the way, thank you, Nikki. I didn't know that came from you, because I know that Joe was very generous in getting these masks, but it gave them room to actually breathe and to phonate, I guess. And they were like really good sports. And all I remember was that first night with these masks. On one hand, I mean, they were dealing with the masks. On the other hand, we were just like so happy to like be collaborating again. All of a sudden, this music. I mean, I think we cried a little bit, but it was just unbelievable. Yeah. And then last night, like I said before, like when those masks came off, I mean, as I actually had a student say to me, I said, "What happened?" You know, we were thinking about this, that, and the other. She goes, "I don't know, Gina. I just took off that mask, and all my technique came back." You know, she says she thinks that mask was just kind of doing something. So they all had different, approaches to it and reactions to it. But they were just such good sports. I mean, they never complained. I mean, they just went with it.
Yeah, they really have been troopers through this whole thing, and those masks get really hot. And they've not only been singing in them as an ensemble, but they've been dancing, and some of the choreography is pretty challenging and athletic. And we try to take a break about every 60 minutes or so, just to be able to take a mask break. And but they're right there with us, and it's pretty inspirational. Getting back into the theater, and going through this process again. It's exciting.
You can probably do the show on Mount Everest now with this training.
I'm curious, how did you select the show?
We talked quite a bit about what we wanted to do, and we decided to go with a review as opposed to a book show, because we wanted everybody to have an opportunity, and a review is the best way to do that. We hadn't done a musical since Let It Be in the fall of 2019, so we really wanted to have this class, each one of them, be featured, and so that kind of was the guiding force behind that, of choosing a review. And then we came up with World Goes Round, because Gina and I had done it previously, probably about 15 years ago, if not longer. We really enjoyed the songs of Kandra and Ebb. We thought it would be a good fit. And we also wanted to be able to do some ensemble numbers with dance, because we wanted to continue that training that we have at Walnut Hill, that you're an actor who can communicate through song, communicate through spoken word, and communicate through movement. I mean, that's something we're very proud of, and I think that we do uniquely.
And it certainly shows. Gina, you have served, if I'm not mistaken, as music director for nearly every musical here since the mid-90s. How has it been to teach the music for this show with all of these sort of protocols and everything in place? I mean, that must have been a real unique experience for you.
Yeah, I mean, you just said the nine. I've been here since spring of 95, I think. It was a very unique experience, but it just allowed us to be more creative and just go with it. Just go with it. And the students they're so with you 100% and more, that it just makes that creativity just much more exciting. So yeah, it was okay. We did okay. Yeah, with those we did all right.
And it has given us an opportunity to work with each one of them individually, because they either have a ballad or an up-tempo, and some have a duet or a trio, and really be able to dive into those pieces, and then slowly put them together. We worked on transitions. We began working on transitions last week, of how these things are going to fit together, and how Gina was going to transition from one song to the next song, because it's not necessarily written that way. So she had to come up with the orchestration of how that was going to transition. And now her next challenge is going to be communicating that to a 6-piece orchestra that joins us on Saturday. Gina and I have been working together for a very long time, and our resident choreographer and musical theater teacher, Maggie Pitts, has been away on maternity leave this year, and we were fortunate enough to find Brian Dillon to come in and work with us as our choreographer. And what I didn't know was that Gina had taught Brian at the Boston Conservatory about 10 years ago, and we're really happy to have him with us and working with our kids. It's been a delight.
Well, I think we speak for everyone when we say we're just so lucky to have you both, and the amazing training. And I think you certainly are the force behind the students and certainly this production. So Brian, you just joined us at Walnut Hill a few weeks ago. How has it been for you working with our senior theater majors?
I am brand new to Walnut Hill and super honored to be a part of the team. They are in their final home stretch and I met them with masks on. It's been a pleasure, and the show is built from the ground up, and these seniors have been inspiring me. They have not complained once about wearing masks. They have performed full out through the masks, and I think it's really cool to be in their last exciting moments of their journey at Walnut Hill. So I'm honored to be here.
Well, and we're very grateful to have you and all of you who have been a part of this production and guiding these students for their time here. This year especially, it has been inspiring to witness what you've been able to do to keep art alive here. Truly, truly inspiring. So next, without further ado, we'll welcome in the cast of The World Goes Round, the Songs of Candor and Ebb. So students, you want to come on in?
These are the actors that are in World Goes Round, and they are the class of 2021. And we'll start with Claire. And Claire, if you could just introduce yourself and tell us where you are from.
Hello, my name is Claire McFarland, and I'm from Boston. And I've been at Walnut Hill since my sophomore year.
Okay. And Paloma and Georgia, you are sharing a screen. So Georgia, we'll start with you.
Hi, I'm Georgia. I'm also from Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm a four-year senior, so I've been here since I was a freshman. I'm Paloma. I've also been here since I was a freshman, and I'm from Cambridge, Massachusetts.
Great. And Harper.
I'm Harper Azevedo. I'm from Providence, Rhode Island, and I've been here since I was a junior.
Great. Mackenzie.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie. I live in Holliston, Massachusetts, and I've been here since halfway through my freshman year.
Rachel.
Hello, I'm Rachel. I'm from Melrose, Massachusetts, and I've been here since freshman year.
Great. And Maya.
Hi, I'm Maya. I've been here since my junior year, and I'm from Bermuda.
And next we have Ava.
Hi, I'm Ava. I'm also from Boston, Massachusetts, and I've been here since my sophomore year.
Michaela.
Hi, I'm Michaela. I've been here since my freshman year, and I'm from Melrose, Massachusetts.
And Amy.
Hi, I'm Amy, and I've been here since I was a junior, and I'm from Billerica, Massachusetts.
Great. So these are 10 of the actors, 10 of the 17 actors in the show with us today.
And we are just delighted that you're here. I know it's been a while since we've really had musical theater on campus, and it's a delight. I know I was walking yesterday, and it was so nice to hear you all warming up in the tent, and getting to sing on campus is really something I think we're all fortunate to be able for you to do again. So you're all doing this show, The World Goes Round. What's been what are some highlights that you've experienced in working on this show?
Yeah, I think for me personally, just being able to work with people again. For a long time, we were doing things in quarantine, and we were on Zoom and singing towards each other, and the kind of energy that you get when you're in person with other people and either singing with them, even with masks on, and dancing and stuff like that is definitely a different vibe, and it definitely feels more alive, and you feed off of each other that way, in a way that I'm really happy that we get the opportunity to do again.
I've never been in a musical before at Walnut Hills, so this was my first time getting to perform an ensemble here, and it's been really fun to perform just with the seniors because we're about to leave in 4 weeks, so we really got a chance to get close right before school ended, which was kind of bittersweet because it's kind of taken 4 years to get this close, but it's a great way to end off the year.
Honestly, I'm just going to say having Brian has been awesome just because, bringing in a new face has made everything so much more lively, and just being able to learn from someone like very young and still like in the business, and also it's just like made everything really, really fun, and he has a great energy. And definitely when we're all like really tired, it's just like awesome to go to rehearsal and have that.
I think for me, the highlight of this has been witnessing all of my peers' talent and commitment and hard work and dedication to this project. And everyone is so incredibly talented, and really hearing that and seeing that directly in front of you is so special. And I'm just honestly astounded by everyone every time I hear them and see them perform.
Can I ask too, some folks are going to get to be able to see this show, but some are not. What are some favorite moments of the show? You could be in the scene or not. I'm curious to know. Mackenzie?
One of the other actors, Charlie Flanagan, gets lifted in the air by Harper and Jacob Resnick, and it is a wonderful moment. And it's like a little spotlight ding. That is a very fun moment.
Just all of the company numbers are just amazing to be in, because we all just feed off of each other's energy, and like just having live theater back too, all that jazz. It's just like a moment. We all just stand there together and we just like breathe in together, and just like having that in the same space is just awesome. So that's probably my favorite.
And those at home should know that we do COVID tests every week, and are being very responsible in what we're doing, but it really is a joy to have musical theater back for the community. Are there any other favorite moments in the show?
I'm a little biased because I'm in it, but I have a trio with two other actors, and it's just been really fun to have, that trio, like alto, soprano, tenor, like singing together in harmony. That's just been really fun and really rewarding, and I've missed it.
My favorite is watching my friend Georgia and Rachel's duet. It's so awesome, and it sounds so beautiful, and I look forward to it every night.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the show.
The audience paid plenty to sit there and clap.
I see the chauffeur, think I'll give him a raise.
We can make it.
Maybe this time.
The owner of these premises cleans up just where it hits. He's in business.
Just a few weeks till you graduate, and it's sort of a bittersweet moment, I think, and something to be excited about, but many, many traditions coming down the pike. As you start to reflect, though, what are some ways you feel like you've grown as an actor during your time at Walnut Hill, however many years you've been here?
I think we've all just matured so much, no matter how long anyone has been here. I've just noticed watching people take notes and perform their songs. I feel like everybody's matured so much, and Walnut Hill really helps you like grow into your own and become a better actor and a person. So I've definitely noticed that a lot.
In all 4 years in all of our arts classes, we do a lot of like journaling and self-reflecting work. And I feel like over the past 4 years, I've noticed I've been doing that in like all aspects of my life. And I just like try to reflect a lot more and figure out like what I can learn from different experiences, or like take away from other people's work, or like if I have a good day or a bad day, stuff like that.
I think it's been amazing because not only have we all grown so much individually as actors, but also just getting to grow together and watch your peers grow, and then finally coming together for this final show, and all the work that we've done in our past years here, just coming together and working together. It's just been so amazing.
I think prior to coming to Walnut Hill, there was the belief for me that being an actor was a very difficult career path that really wasn't a realistic way to be in the world, and coming here has made me really feel confident to consider myself somewhat of a professional And being treated as such, being here, has really given me the confidence to feel as if this is my career and this will be my life going forward, and that I can handle that. And that's just the best gift I could have gotten coming here.
Yeah, I would say Walnut Hill definitely teaches you time management because we have to balance academics and arts. But it also teaches you how to advocate for yourself. And I mean, Joe always says, like, we're running a small business, like we are the small business. And so you kind of always have to step up for yourself. And I mean, I'm like dance captain for the show, and that's been like a little bit of a challenge for me because I don't usually like to, I don't know, like take charge. But it's been really nice to be able to step into that position and know that that's something I can do. So you always get new experiences and you learn a lot about yourself as well as others.
Along with learning how to act and voice technique and everything, we learn a lot about the behind the scenes and everything that it takes to make a show. With Mike McCucci, we learned design of production. We've all done crew assignments. Like Maya said, some people take on leadership roles like within the show. So we do a lot more than just act, sing, and dance, which has been really great because we appreciate so much more how much effort and work that goes into putting in a show and how many people it really takes to put on a Walnut Hill musical and a musical in general.
I think the teachers put so much trust in you that you eventually develop trust in yourself. And that's something I've really felt this last year coming, that, you know, you kind of can take the material that you're given and find techniques you've learned from your teachers in the past and kind of have like creative liberty in what we're creating. And especially in this show, having the way that it's formed, we all kind of have these solo moments, but we come together in ensemble moments and how we choose our acting techniques. It's really cool to see how everyone is kind of creating their own moments in the show. So,
What I'm curious to know, because this year really has been so unusual to say the least, you know, think about growth. I'm wondering if any of you could describe what you might have discovered about yourselves during this past year, or something that might have surprised you.
Well, we all went through the college process this year, which has its ups and downs, as we all know. And I think I discovered, like, I guess not to put myself in a box. Like, being at Walnut Hill for the past 4 years has been so incredible, and I've learned so much. And sometimes there's this pressure to only continue in your art, but I think all of us are so talented and also have gained so much knowledge over the years at Walnut Hill in our academic classes that I'm confident that we could all go into any major and like be successful. So I've definitely learned not to put yourself in a box, but also, you know, keep doing what you're passionate about at the same time.
Well, and there are skills like time management that you mentioned before that are applicable to everything. So I think that's definitely something that people come away with from their time at Walnut Hill, no matter what major they're in. Any other moments of discovery this past year, Georgia?
This isn't necessarily theater, but it's just one in general. I feel like because during the pandemic and we were far away from each other for so long, the other night, a bunch of us went to the head's house and we just like hung out outside and we sang songs, we had some s'mores, and we just got to like enjoy our time together. And something so simple like that just felt so good because that was taken away from us for so long. So I think I just left with I have such more appreciation for like the little time that we spend together.
To go off of what Georgia just said, like I think that before COVID, we tended to take the little things for granted. So like even having a show is such, like even when we were in Midsummer, which was the show before, like it was such a huge deal because, you know, I think we took live theater for granted. So now I appreciate it so much more.
And we get to appreciate watching it as well. So I'm curious, and Tom, we can edit out some of this sort of fuzziness here, but so here's a really broad question, okay? And it really has many meanings to many people, but why is it important to keep making art right now?
Obviously, art has it's gotten hit hard this year because of COVID, and a lot of people around the world have turned to technology, and live theater especially is something that has really been missed. And I think it's just so important to keep that alive, because like, although times are changing, art can still make a huge impact on people, and it can separate us from our screens a little bit, because I'm speaking for everyone, but I think we're all sick of looking at our screens 24/7. So I'm personally really excited for theater to be back and live art to be back. And I think it's important to keep it alive.
This year, outside of COVID, we've been faced with so many social issues that have been brought to the forefront because we are so attached to our screens. And so we've been made aware of so many kind of injustices in the world. And I think art historically has always addressed social issues and has always worked to bring awareness, bring meaning. And I think that that's so important in times like these, when we're being faced with all of these things, and voices need to be heard surrounding them. So I think that that's another reason that art should be continued in mass.
Yeah, just as Harper said, art is so timeless, and it has constantly been something that brings everyone together. And there's just stories that have been told and maybe not told in the best way. And I feel like our generation is the ones who can come and change that. And I know that's already happening. There's been various movements around theater. And I think it's so important to just continue to tell those stories, and continue to use art to comfort and to also challenge the views of our society today. So yeah, gotta keep it going.
Art definitely creates a community. And I think that with art, people can come together and they can watch something collectively. Talking about live theater, when everyone is in the same theater together, like, you're all feeling the same emotions at the exact same time. And you just, like, if there's a moment in whatever you're watching where you're shocked, it's like you can feel like tension in the theater. And I think people are just kind of craving for that right now, just to all feel the same emotions in the same space, because I think you can feel kind of disconnected with the screen. So I think to keep creating theater so people can be in those spaces again.
There's a very different energy with being somewhere witnessing something live than at home, convenient though it may be. I guess to take a step back from big broad topics, it wouldn't be a proper moment with you all without, just thinking about some memories from your time here. I mean, were there certain shows that stand out as particularly memorable to you, or things, classes, moments? I think, we recently talked to some WFMA majors, and they just had some amazing things to share. I'm wondering if you all have some memories you want to think about and share with us.
I mean, this isn't a specific memory, but we took playwriting this year, and my playwriting class has been the highlight of my week, and we have a lot of fun in that class, and I'm very grateful for them.
It's actually funny because Georgia and I started out our performances the same way we're finishing them together this year, because freshman year we performed a little play by one of the WFMA majors, the senior WFMA majors. We did like a collaborative arts project, and a few of us performed in it, but Georgia and I did a show together, and it was really nice to do. And it's just funny to think that now we're doing a duet in the musical, so we're kind of starting together and finishing together.
I think one of my favorite moments was coming back from Let It Be rehearsal, which was our musical, the Beatles musical that we did last year. And we were coming out and people had guitars, because we use guitars in the musical, so they were walking out with all their guitars, and we were just singing and being probably really obnoxious as we are on campus, but everybody was we were all singing together, and we were all in circle, and we were playing super loud music. And I was just really, really overjoyed. just living in the moment, and it was awesome. And Clara, the theater department representative last year, came up to me and was like, are you happy? She just asked me, are you happy? And I just remember like, it's like so weird because it was so out of place. And she just like asked me that in that moment. And I was so happy. I just like looked at her and I nodded, and we just continued going on with our night. But it was just such an awesome moment. And I always remember that because that was probably one of like the best nights I'd had at Walnut Hill.
Well, that was a beautiful show too. I know no one thought at the time that it would be, well over a year before we'd be doing a musical again on campus, but certainly a very memorable moment for those of us that were able to see it. Yeah, Georgia.
I kind of want to add on to that. So I think it was our last rehearsal that we had. The show ended, the lights went out, and we all went backstage, and we just like enjoyed our last rehearsal, and we were like screaming and jumping and hugging each other, and it was about like we did that show for us. There was no audience, and we just like enjoyed our time on stage before we got to like share it with people. But that moment was just for the cast and for the crew and for everyone that was like a part of it. It was just so special.
I have a question that takes us back to World Goes Round, and that is Brian has been rather meticulous in his teaching of Fosse dance style. And he did a little workshop when he first came in for the first rehearsal and told them what the storytelling was all about with Fosse and the style and how it had evolved. And I'm just wondering, how challenging has that been to work as an ensemble like that and to really feel one another in that storytelling?
I've always loved Fosse style, and because it's just so intricate and detailed. And I kind of touched on this before, but like we all really have to pay attention to each other and just move together. And so just feeling everybody's energy and kind of what story they're coming from and trying to like connect that into our story. It's just such a great style to be able to do with each other. And for the first time, like, even if you're not like a dancer, like you can still look good doing it. And just, yeah.
Similarly to what Maya said, I am not a dancer. If you know me, I'm probably not the best dancer that you know. But I think working this has been so great because Fosse is so actor-based in a way where you're emoting through your face and your movement and your body. And that has been so helpful for me because I can create a story while not being the most technically skilled dancer. So that has been a gift.
I was just going to say the cast has been doing an excellent job, especially at that number. It looks really good. And it takes a lot of hard work to look that effortless. So I keep telling them like ducks under the water. Their feet are going, and everything's cool on the surface. And they've been doing a great job. So good on ya. It looks good. And I know how much work it is to look that cool.
So theater majors, we would love to know where you are headed next. Would anybody like to share of the plans of the future once you leave Walnut Hill?
I am going to Chicago, Roosevelt. I will be a BFA musical theater dance concentration major. I'm very excited to go to the city because it's going to be my first time really living within the city because I'm from Boston, but I've lived in the suburbs, so big city.
That's really exciting. Anybody else heading to a big city? Yeah.
Are we going? George and I are both going to big cities. I'm going to NYU Tisch for drama. I'm going to the studio school in LA with a BFA in screen acting.
Fantastic. And Michaela, you as well? I saw you nodding.
I was nodding because we have a lot of people going to NYC, but I'm going to Syracuse University in New York, and I'm planning on studying environmentally sustainable interior design and minoring in theater.
Oh, fantastic. Something different. Great. Anybody else want to share where they're going? Rachel.
I am also going to NYU, but I will be in the Steinhardt School, and I am studying educational theater, and I plan to receive certification to teach theater.
Fantastic. Mackenzie?
I will be going to the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland in Glasgow, and I'll be getting a BA in musical theatre.
Fantastic, across the pond. And Amy?
I will be attending Point Park University for a BFA in Theater Arts.
Ava?
I will be attending Penn State University for a BFA in acting.
Great. And Harper?
I will be attending NYU Tisch for a BFA in acting.
And I think Maya? Yeah.
I will be attending the University of Michigan for a BFA in acting.
Great. I think this is everybody. Garrett?
Wonderful. Thank you to our students, the cast of The World Goes Round, The Songs of Candor and Ebb, Joe Cabral, Gina Fiore, and Brian Dillon for being a part of tonight's Crush, the third in our 5-part series complementing the virtual presentation of spring performances and showcases from each of the 5 art majors. And a special word of thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. We invite you to tune in this Wednesday, June 2nd at 7 p.m. for the Visual Art Crush, which will feature Director of Visual Art Jim Woodside discussing some examples of the year-end art show, followed by a Q&A with current faculty and students. Thank you again from everyone at Walnut Hill, and have a great night.